It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com from the, I guess it's the debut release, Welcome to the Realm. That's LA Nights, and that is the title track, Welcome to the Realm, One More Round. And on the phone with us, we've got the guitarist from LA Nights. We've got Jozey. Welcome to the Classic Metal Show there, Jozey.
Hey, thanks, guys, for having me.
Hey, Jozey, I got to ask you straight off.
Right on.
Los Akron Nights?
Yes, sir. We started off as a cover band, LA Nights, doing covers from the LA bands and stuff. And when we decided to do originals, we said, screw it, we're going to keep the name. And we just came up with Los Akron because we're from Akron.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Very nice. Well, Jozey, Chris was telling me that you have a history with him, and he basically said you were an average guitarist. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm just average guitar. I play a little bit here and there. When I was in a band, Mob Scene, and Chris used to play a couple of our songs on the show here and there.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, why don't you start off by maybe give the fans a little bit of background on the band, how you guys came together, and specifically what it is that made you guys kind of go in this direction? Because let's face it, this is not the kind of music that's going to automatically get picked up by radio and, get a lot of play and whatnot. I mean, it's almost like it's a, it's a guilty pleasure type thing that you guys are doing, but you're finding a way to do it well.
Well, you know what? I was running a bar in Wadsworth, and my band, Sunset Riot, which was a cover band, had just broke up, and we booked Bang Tango to come in there and play. And we were going to open up for them, so I put this band together with these guys, and oddly enough, the singer, Dave Fans, was in a band in the 80s named Liquor Sweet. And Liquor Sweet played in Cleveland and then went out to Sunset Strip and played all the bars, all the clubs out there, played with Poison, Motley Crue, everybody. Kind of had things going on until Nirvana came around and screwed all that up. And then, so he came back, him and I got together and put this band together just to have some fun. And one day him and I decided, let's try writing a song, and we wrote One More Round in about 15 minutes, and then we said, well, you know what, we might as well continue to write like this. And within 8 months, we had the whole album done.
That's cool, man. Now, doing this, I mean, certainly you have a lot of opportunities with your job, more or less, to make sure that you get in front of the right people. I mean, you have that opportunity, but at the same time, you can't necessarily rely on that either, because Lord knows there's been bad bands in front of good bands that don't do anything. How has that been, being in front of bands that are relevant to, the kind of music that you're making, and how much pressure does it put on you to, more or less go and blow Jack Russell's Great White out of the water before they, take the stage?
Well, you know what? The first thing we concentrated was getting tight as a band on the covers that we did, and we played the covers we did. We took all the best songs from the 80s and early 90s, and we tightened them up as much as we could. And my goal when we started writing the songs was to say every song we write has to be as good as if we're playing, one of the Poison songs or Motley Crue or something like that. It has to fit right in. We don't want people to just say, oh, man, here comes another original, here comes another original. It's gotten to the point now where people want to hear the originals more than they want to hear us play Talk Dirty to Me for the 5,000th time, or something by Quiet Riot or something like that. It's gotten to the point now where tonight this was our 5th show since the CD came out, where we did almost 90% originals, and the people are just loving it. They're dancing, they're singing, they're doing the same stuff they did when we played all the covers, and we just make sure we're a tight band and a good band. We have rich vocals, we do a lot of harmonies, we do just a lot of fun stuff on stage. We move around. I'll tell you what, we're a badass band, man.
Well, Jozey, everybody who knows anything about the music business knows that there's really no money in CDs, but obviously you guys did go record a disc and have it out now. I'm assuming that you're self-financed in doing this. What kind of recording sessions did you do? I mean, did you go to a pro studio, or was this something you could do at your own home, or how did your recording sessions come about?
I'll tell you what, we started off, we had saved some money from the shows, because we get paid pretty well to do the cover shows, and as good as we were getting, we put some money away to do a demo originally, and we found a guy who runs a great little studio called the Sound Shack in Hartville, Ohio. His name's Brian Haskins, and man, that guy knows what he's doing. He's just it's literally a chicken shack that he turned into a really sweet little recording studio. We went in, and we would go in about 2 times a week and just spend a couple hours here and there from October until February recording the songs. And that guy put so much time and effort into everything, helping us just fine-tune the song, fine-tune the sound, all that kind of bring out the best of what we could do. He really helped us make it from a demo that we originally started into a full-length CD that we're really super proud of, and I think people are starting to like it and really enjoy it.
Sure. Now, I'm not asking you for specific numbers here, but what kind of an investment do you have in that?
In the CD, we've got I would say we've got between $35,000 and $4,000, but Brian probably cut us a $3,000 slack.
Nice. So basically, in this day and age of, digital recording and self-financed, you could actually put together a pretty solid disc for, under $5,000.
Absolutely. You got to have a guy that's good and works with you, and you got to have a guy that cares. Brian is a friend of Dave, our singer from back in the 80s, and he really knows what he's doing. I would match him up with engineers all around the world. And not only that, but he cared about the songs and he cared about us as guys. And he wanted us to put out something that everybody was proud of and something that, hey, I could go on a show like the Classic Metal Show and mention the Sound Shack, and people might go to him and check him out, and he's going to make some money off of it. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to be editing that part out because I really don't want to promote anybody I'm not really familiar with.
He's going to give us a deal on the next CD, man.
Very nice. Well, Jozey, doing this and being out there today, man, obviously the world has changed to where it's just not the hippest thing to be doing this style of music, So what is it that drives you guys? Is it just your love for this style, or is it, do you think that there's a niche there to fill?
I think that it's a combination. It started off, these were the songs we knew and were good at, and we started playing them, and people reacted to, we're pretty good-looking dudes. We put on a good show. We don't stand there and stare at our feet like, bands from the 90s. We move around. We have a lot of different kind of vocals where we do harmonies and stuff like that. I think the show we put on, the way we look, people are looking for that because the new bands that do it don't necessarily do it with the kind of music that we play. And the people in our age group, the 35 to 50-year-olds, they're looking for new music because they've heard all the Poison and the Motley Crues and everything. And they've done what they're going to do, and there's not many new bands doing what we do, and they've latched on to us, at least in Northeast Ohio. We've sold a bunch of CDs already. And as it gets spread out on shows like this, and then Chris did a review of our CD that we were surprised at how well he liked it. It's helped us sell CDs now across the country and even starting to be out in other countries.
Well, that check that you passed him probably didn't hurt,
I hope he cashed it already because we closed that account.
Very nice, dude. Well, dude, one of the things I said both in the review and I've said to you personally is how much Dave sounds like David Roach from Junkyard. And, what's ironic is without ever making a mention to it in our chat room tonight, that came up, that somebody thought it was like a Junkyard song that they hadn't heard when we were playing One More Round. So, how do you guys take to that reference? And, is that a good reference, or is that, because Junkyard wasn't a huge band, is that kind of an obscure that doesn't help the band much?
You know what? The people in this band all knew Junkyard, and for some reason we never even thought about it. And the minute that Chris said it to me one day, and we were talking between the two of us, he said, "You sound like Junkyard," and Dave really sounds like David Roach. I said something to Dave, and Dave got the biggest smile on his face. And we all realized, wow, we never thought about it, but we all love Junkyard. Everybody liked Junkyard. Why they weren't huge, I don't know.
Sure.
One of my favorite stories about Dave is when he was in Liquor Suite, and they went to California, and they got a write-up in one of the papers out there. I don't remember which one it is. And they gave a great review to everybody in the band. They gave an amazing review to the drummers and the guitar players and bassists. And they said, and the only thing is, the singer has an annoying nasally tone, much like Vince Neil on the first Motley Crue album. And Dave said, I sound like Vince Neil, hell yeah! And he was all happy about it. Meanwhile, they were trying to actually dig at him for sounding too much like Vince Neil.
Sure. Well, hopefully Dave gets more than every third word when he sings.
You know what? I will punch him in the face if he tries to do that crap.
Well, Jozey, what's your thoughts on people like Steel Panther who have become relatively huge, making their legacy off of the whole 80s thing? And basically, you know, they started off doing mostly covers, you know, and just kind of goofing on the, you know, the bands that they were covering, and now they've got all their, you know, they've got a catalog of their own music now. What's your thoughts on that?
You know what? I love those guys, but I love them more because of their funny attitude and the lyrics they write. I think their lyrics are hilarious. I've listened to a bunch of their songs, and you know what, man? In the end, every guy that picks up a guitar and picks up a drummer picks up drumsticks wants to get laid. And that's what those guys are doing, man, probably more than anybody else running around. And we try and put on a persona like that. We take it a little more seriously. We wear the guy liner. We wear, you know, our hair long and straight, and we try and do all that stuff. But we take it a little more seriously because that's the way I dress every day. I don't, you know, when I go on stage, a lot of times I just wear what I had on that day, and everybody seems to like that stuff, man. There's no new bands that are fun doing that, man. Nobody's having fun in rock and roll anymore.
Right. Well, Jozey, you guys have been together now as a cover band and now as a, you know, as a original band. You know, you guys have been together now for several years. What comes to mind?
You know what? I remember our first show was opening for Bang Tango in this little bar that I ran in Wadsworth, Ohio, and I did it just because I love Bang Tango and I wanted to play guitar. My bands had broke up, and I remember getting up there and playing and just looking at Dave and going, you know what, man? Dave and I got a chemistry. We had a chemistry like right off the bat, and it was something that him and I both could tell, and people that were in the audience could tell. We had a chemistry on stage, the kind of riffs that we both liked, the kind of vocals that we both liked. We hit it off right away, and the first time we sat down to write a couple songs, I mean, we whipped off One More Round, Don't Ya, and I can't remember what the third, Light It Up, in like a week. And it was like, wow, you know, look at what we're doing. This is fun. This dude is, you know, this is my musical kindred spirit. This guy is who I should have met 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Who knows what we would have done.
Well, Jozey, this is your first time on the Classic Metal Show. Did you ever think this day would ever come?
I've been on it before with Mob Scene. Didn't Chris tell you that? Years ago.
I don't know. I think that was on the Metal Show, wasn't it? Not the Classic Metal Show.
Oh, it was, we came up to a studio up in Cleveland, right?
Yeah, that was the Metal Show.
Oh, my bad, man. Okay, yeah, then this is even better.
Too much.
Very good. Well, what's the plan for Mob Scene or not Mob Scene?
Mob Scene.
Yeah,
what?
See, he's got that.
Mob Scene is dead.
Yeah, I know. He said it, made me think about it. What's the plan for LA nights here? Are you getting any gigs outside of the Akron area? You got any plans on hooking up and maybe doing some touring
because of the job that I have? I book bands for a bar in Akron, Ohio, and I run the bar and I'm a manager, and we bring in, bands like last night we had Jack Russell's Barry White, and we got to open for them. I've met a lot of agents and gotten to know guys like Trent Anderson, who drums for Tough and used to play for Bang Tango, and Alex Grossi and Christy Majors, and they do amazingly do all booking for a lot of those bands that we match up well with, and we've talked to them. It's hard for us to do a complete tour, but we've talked about doing a couple little 2-week runs. And we're trying to put some things together. We're also trying to get included in some of the festivals around the country. And I think that if we could get in on some of those, I really believe people are going to dig the CD and dig us live. And I think we could go somewhere with this. As far as being a regional, we don't have aspirations of being world famous and making millions of dollars, but we can spread a little bit of the realm around.
Now, you mentioned you talked to Christy Crash Majors.
Right.
Did you get any kind of a creepy vibe from that guy?
No, but when he shows up in your bar with all the makeup and the high heels and the long hair, whatever it is.
On the show a few years ago, and I don't know, he just kind of creeped both Chris and I out. We kind of thought there might be some, there might be some pedophilia going on there or something.
I'll ask him about that if I talk to him soon. That's awesome.
I think it was that creepy laugh he has.
Yeah, oh man, you're right.
He's got this. Right. Do you remember that, Chris?
I do. It's like,
it's like, holy shit, who is this guy?
Oh boy.
It's like, let the kids out of your trunk, pal. Jesus.
Somebody get a crowbar.
Before I came to the show, I was down at the playground fishing for kids with Smarties on a fishing line.
Oh man, I promise I was not doing any of that. I just walked off stage.
Nice.
Now, how was Jack Russell last night? I mean, obviously he's had some real problems health-wise, and he's not in the best of shape. And I know Jack very well as a friend, but boy, I tell you, he's in rough shape.
They haven't really announced anything about it yet, but Jack had a family emergency last night. Yesterday, he did an interview with WMMS here in town to promote the show, and when he got off, he got some bad news about, I don't want to say too much, but he had to fly back home. So we rescheduled the show for later this month, but the band was gracious enough to continue on and play the night, and we opened up for him. We had an amazing crowd show up, and everybody understood. He just, I don't want to say it too much before they make an announcement or anything. It wasn't anything to do with Jack, because he was fine, and did an interview with MMS, and it was an amazing interview. And then when he got off, he got the news that he had to fly back home.
Did they get Terry Illowis to fill in for him while he was gone?
No, they did not.
Damn.
Oh, man.
Nice. Well, Jozey, why don't you tell everybody where they can go to go online to find out more about the band and buy the CD and blah, blah, blah.
Okay, well, you know what? We just started a website. It's called welcometotherealm.net. It has links to everything where you can get the CD, but you can also find the CD on iTunes, on CD Baby. We're on Facebook under LA Nights. We have a Twitter, LA Nights 16. We have everything you can do, but if you go to welcometotherealm.net, it has links to everything on there. You can also see our official video for the song Light It Up, which came out amazing. And we also do a weekly blog, kind of just, it promotes the shows and stuff like that we got going on, but it's also just kind of, we're trying to make them funny and have some fun with interact with our friends and fans. We call our friends and fans the Realm, and we try and include everybody in that stuff. It's really a cool thing around here.
And is this website being hosted by the great Aiken IT Services?
Nope.
No, but him
all right. Well, it's nice talking to you, Jozey. I'm glad you called.
Thanks for calling, Jozey. It's been good talking to you. Now scram.
Chris and I are talking about doing my bar's website, and as soon as my boss comes up off some cash, we're going to use Chris to do that.
All right, Jozey. Well, it's been good speaking to a fellow Akronite, and well, we're going to let you...
Look at that. You just said it, right? Los Akron Knights, right?
Right. Fellow Akronite.
Yes.
But before we let you go, we'll ask you the traditional classic metal show question. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Influenced my career. I love, and this is no lie, I love to put my stand up high, my mic stand up high, and sing up into it.
That's called that's called the Lemmy position, by the way.
I absolutely, and the other thing that's real funny is my bass player Troy is about 4 foot tall, and when I put my mic stand up high like Lemmy, he can't sing into it, and we'll switch stage sides, and he'll go over there, and he almost has to jump up in the air to sing into the mic.
All right. Well, since you're from Akron, I thought maybe we'd close the interview out with Rubber City Meltdown. What can you tell us about? What can you tell us about that?
You know what? Dave wrote that about back before his band Liquor Sweet went to California, and there was a guy in town here. He's a local legend, Guy Bechter. He was in World Gone Mad. He's been Eyes on You. He's been in a million different bands. One of the best bass players I've ever seen in my life. And they were really good friends. I don't say best friends, but good friends. They used to hang out at Guy's house. And a little bit of those stories that kind of he talks about in there is about just him hanging out with some of those guys in Liquor Sweet before they took off.
Excellent. All right, well, go check out the LA Knights. Go pick up their new CD called Welcome to the Realm. And, well, here it is. This is called Rubber City Meltdown exclusively.
Right on.
On your Classic Metal Show.